Hi, I'm Dave Karger. Thanks for sticking with me this afternoon on TCM. Up next, our 31 Days of Oscar lineup continues with another Oscar-nominated Western, one that plays more like a tense psychological drama. From MGM in 1953, directed by Anthony Mann, it's The Naked Spur. Jimmy Stewart plays a bounty hunter scouring the harsh Colorado territory in search of an outlaw with a hefty price on his head. He's played by Robert Ryan. In the 1930s, Jimmy Stewart became a star in Hollywood, playing naive, good-natured guys in movies like You Can't Take It With You and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. But during World War II, he took 5 years away from the screen to serve in the U.S. Army Air Forces, and when he finally returned to Hollywood, he began taking on much more complex and mature roles. In 1950, he teamed up with director Anthony Mann for the first time to make the Western Winchester 73, in which he played a man obsessed with hunting down his own brother. That film began a fruitful partnership for Stewart and Mann, who went on to make a total of 8 movies together in the early 1950s. 5 of those films, including The Naked Spur, were Westerns that gave Jimmy Stewart the chance to play dark and tormented characters unlike anything audiences had come to expect from him. He was still several years away from making Vertigo with Alfred Hitchcock. The Naked Spur also stars another Hitchcock collaborator, Janet Leigh, whose infamous trip to the Bates Motel was still 7 years away at this point in her career. In addition to Jimmy Stewart, Robert Ryan, and Janet Leigh, The Naked Spur only features 2 other actors with speaking parts, played by Millard Mitchell and Ralph Meeker. The film earned an Oscar nomination for Best Writing, which included the story and screenplay written by Sam Rolfe and Harold Jack Bloom. From MGM in 1953, here is The Naked Spur. The Naked Spur was the third of 8 movies that Jimmy Stewart made with director Anthony Mann between 1950 and 1955. They had already collaborated on 2 Westerns, Winchester 73 and Bend in the River, and would go on to make 2 more, including The Man from Laramie. Under Mann's direction, Stewart delivered some of his best and most complex performances, but neither of them earned a single Oscar nomination for the 8 films that they made together. In fact, Anthony Mann was never nominated for an Oscar during his impressive 3-decade career in Hollywood. Jimmy Stewart, on the other hand, received 5 nominations in the Best Actor category. The first came for his iconic performance in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington from 1939, and he received his 5th and final nomination for Anatomy of a Murder, released 2 decades later in 1959. He won just once for the 1940 comedy The Philadelphia Story, which many people felt was a kind of consolation prize for not winning the year before for Mr. Smith. Up next, Jimmy Stewart returns in a landmark Western from 1950, directed by Delmer Daves.
Next on TCM, Broken Arrow, then Shane, and later, Hondo. Oscar's tall in the saddle tonight.